Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, she's about to marry a stranger, and now cops show up at her door.
You won't believe the twist in this alleged catfish story.
That's the only picture I have seen of him.
He's been to 26 countries, and the boy's only got one picture.
I want to spend the rest of my life with you, Doctor.
Where'd he get the accent if he grew up in the U.S.?
There's a criminal on the other end of this.
You think that your mother is an accomplice to a crime?
Yes, she is. I'm terrified that my grandma's going to go to jail.
Where is this mystery man?
We found him. He's here today. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. You know, by now, we have done several catfish shows where the victim was usually a lonely older widow who logged on to a dating site looking for love, but instead found an imposter using a fake picture who ended up scamming her out of money. But today's case is a little different. Alicia reached out to me about her grandmother, Barbara, who says she was in dire straits and about to lose her home and car when out of nowhere, a handsome man came along by the name of David Chris Jr. Now, Grandma did not meet David Chris Jr. on a dating site. She met him on a financial advice page. Alicia says in the process of supposedly trying to help save her grandmother's bank account, he also stole her heart.
2.5 years ago, I lost my husband of 44 years. When my husband died, I was completely devastated. I was so very depressed until I finally met David. David gave me a new lease on life. David, in some ways, has been a Prince Charming for me. He writes me such lovely notes. He sends wonderful texts to me. David always cares about me. He makes me feel very special. He gave me a future to look forward to. My hope is one day maybe we can make a life together.
Does he sound too good to be true? Yes. Well, you won't believe the twist in this alleged catfish story. Police questioned Grandma Barbara for being suspected as a money mule for an alleged fake financial advisor. Her daughter, Tracy, called her own mother an accomplice to a crime, and a family erupted into a fight over the alleged catfish that ended up with Tracy claiming she was punched in the face by her own sister, Kathy. Now, we'll get into all of this as well as reveal the results from our in-depth investigation later. But first, let's hear what Barbara has to say about this mystery man, this financial wizard, David Chris Jr.
I met David about a year ago. A cousin of mine sent me a message on Facebook asking me if I had ever heard of a government grant program. My cousin told me she received a bunch of money through this program. I messaged David on Facebook and he responded immediately. David is a financial planner. He explained if I would send him $2,000, he could get me a government grant. I told David I didn't have $2,000 to send him. David saw my profile picture and he said, "Barbara, you are a very beautiful woman." David told me he was 53 years old. I explained to him he was way too young for me. David explained to me that miles and age have nothing to do with it. We wound up texting each other about 12 hours straight. He was so very caring and wonderful. David lives in Michigan, and a week after meeting him online, he was sent to Lagos, Nigeria for work. David has been in Nigeria for the past year. We text and are on the phone phone with each other nearly every day. This is what I know about David. He has an accent. He was actually born in Spain, but grew up in Michigan. He works in government grants. His job sends him to all parts of the world, including overseas. David was married, but never had any children. His wife was tragically killed in a car accident about 4 years ago, and he has no one. A few months ago, David told me he was absolutely deeply in love with me. There's something about David. At times, we're so close that I feel like I can reach out and touch him. He's so loving and very caring. I was married for 44 years, and David has made me feel like I've never felt before. Truth is, I am also in love with David. David wants to get married, and I have seriously considered it. He has told me he has $700,000 in the bank, and that is for us to live on when we get married. David also has a 4-bedroom home that we're going to live in. Over the past year, I have helped David out financially. He needed help paying some medical bills. In the past 9 months, I have sent him about $5,000. I have never met David in person. David was supposed to come home about 3 weeks ago. He needed $600 to pay for a plane ticket, so I sent it to him. But a few days later, David was arrested for not paying a hospital bill. He had to use the money that I sent him to be bailed out of jail. I can't wait to meet David face to face. I am so looking forward to starting a life with David as soon as he returns home.
Okay, it's good to meet you.
You also.
Tell me how you feel about being here today and what your goal and objective is and how I can help you with it.
I'm very nervous to be here today.
Oh, yeah?
My family has kind of drifted apart over all this. I hope they can make amends and we can all be together again.
Okay. All right. What do you think it would take for that to happen?
You. I'm hoping.
Yeah. What would I have to do?
They do not believe David is real. Mm-hmm. I do believe he is real. Mm-hmm. And once and for all, they figure that after we come here, they're going to figure this out with your help, whether he is real or not. Okay.
So they at least have to acknowledge it's possible he's real, right?
I don't know. Tell you the truth, I don't think they acknowledge anything as far as this is concerned.
But anything's possible, right?
Right. And I've told them that.
I mean, they can't just close their minds totally.
A couple of them have.
But you got to be open-minded. I got to get them to open their minds, right? Because anything's possible.
That's correct.
It would be foolish to just completely close their minds.
Yes.
And I got to convince them of that.
I hope you do.
Am I good enough to do that?
Yes, you are.
Because anything's possible.
Yes.
And if anything's possible, then it's possible that he's not real.
That's correct. Anything's possible.
Yeah. Let's see what we know about him, okay?
Okay.
Because they're watching this right now. So because I do my homework, right?
Yes.
Here's what we know according to you. He was born in Spain but moved to the U.S. as a child.
Yes.
But he does have an accent, even though he grew up in the U.S.?
Yes.
Where did he get the accent if he grew up in the U.S.?
I don't know.
Is it a Michigan accent? Because, listen, I'm from Texas, so everybody has an accent to me.
Sometimes he's hard to understand.
Yeah. Okay, well, he was born in '62, so he's 53. And you think that's maybe, you thought that was too young for you to start with?
He just turned 54. So
right,
I may have my date wrong.
Yeah, okay. But he's about 50, low 50s, mid 50s.
Yes.
Okay. Would that concern you at first? You thought maybe he's a little too young for you? But, I mean, you're pretty spry, right?
Thank you.
Yeah. He's 5'8", gray hair, brown eyes, goatee. And you know that because of his picture.
Yes.
And widower, no kids.
Yes.
Parents deceased, no relatives.
Right.
Works for the U.S. government, giving out grants as a financial planner.
Yes.
See, that's interesting. That's good to know. Okay, owns a mansion near a lake in Michigan.
I don't think it's a mansion. I think it's just a 4-bedroom house.
Good-sized place.
Apparently.
Okay, well, 4 bedrooms. He's got almost $750,000 in a bank in Michigan, $700,000.
That's what he said.
Traveling for business in Nigeria. Now, he's been to 26 countries, and he's recently retired, plans to move home and marry you.
That's what he said.
Uh-huh. Caring, protective, sweet, very serious.
Yes.
Okay, he's currently stuck in Nigeria because he doesn't have enough money for a plane ticket, although you sent him the money for a plane ticket. And he spent it on bail? So we're talking about jailbird here?
I hope not, but
he was in jail.
Yes, they arrested him because he went to the hospital, asked him if he could make the payment when he got to the States, and they told him no. So they told him they would arrest him.
And did arrest him?
Yes, they did.
So they patched him up and locked him up?
Yes. That's the only picture I have seen of him.
The boy's only got one picture? If I'd been in 26 countries, I believe I'm going to snap me a few pictures along the way. And later, at one point, you were, and I say at one point, I guess you're still of that opinion, that your mother is an accomplice to a crime here.
She is, and that's why the police were at her door.
Wednesday on an all-new Dr. Phil. A hospital worker convicted of sexual assault. But he claims he was the one attacked.
You said a female patient grabbed your scrub pants.
Yes, and pulled me towards her. I pushed myself away from her.
I walked in the room and saw Jameson committing a sexual act with his patient.
Could this have happened the way he said?
Absolutely not.
But did you actually see the sex act taking place?
That's Wednesday.
Tell me again how you met him. Your cousin referred you to him?
Yes, we personal message on Facebook, and she come on and asked me if I'd heard about this government grant.
Right.
And I said no, and she was telling me I don't remember how much money she said she got, but she said she's trying to figure out what to do with all the money.
So she sent you a direct message?
Yes.
Well, did you pick up phone, call her right away, I guess? Said,
No.
Tell me more about this?
No, we messaged back and forth.
Oh, I see.
And I asked her, she said, you should get a hold of him. She said, you have to
How well do you know this cousin?
You know, actually, I've never met her.
Did she send you a link to the page?
Yes.
And this is the page that she sent you a link to?
Because that was another page he sent me and put on there he was in a relationship. My daughter, Tracy, had a fit. She said, why are you accepting this guy as a friend? So I went and took him down.
Well, this is the one you gave us.
Okay.
You gave us, this is the one
But
you
it
said
was
you got.
similar to the same page. Okay.
Well, this is the one, we asked you the one that you got from your cousin. This is the one you gave us.
Okay, it was the same one, but except he put he was in a relationship on this.
Yeah. The original one didn't have in a relationship?
No.
Okay.
I didn't know him.
Well, maybe he added that later because of you.
Yes, he did. He did.
Okay, so it wasn't on there with the one you originally got?
No.
Okay. But it was this picture?
Yes.
Okay, and how many other pictures are on there?
That's the only one. That's the only picture I have seen of him.
He's been to 26 countries, and he's 54 years old, and the boy's only got one picture?
He said, I asked him for more pictures, and he said he didn't have any with him. They were at his home. He doesn't carry the pictures with him.
Well, nobody does. They're electronic.
No.
We don't have Polaroids in our pocket anymore.
I don't know. I just, that's what he told me, and I just left it go at that.
Well, but I mean, because I don't know. I'm just trying to help you think through it.
I don't know either.
I'm just trying to help you. I just want to be your friend here. I'm just trying to help you think through it. Because I'm thinking, I'm just an old country boy. If I'd been in 26 countries, I believe I'm going to snap me a few pictures along the way. Don't you think? You know, like
well,
of like the, you know, the Taj Mahal and the Seven Wonders of the World. And so I'm going to get me some pics, right?
Well, yes, I would, but I think what he uses is a track phone. And I don't know how those work. I don't know anything about them.
Yeah. Well, okay, so you started, so you see this. He's a pretty good-looking guy.
Yes.
So you had some back and forth with him about a grant. And you said this, I would like to claim for the grant. And he says, well, give me your full name and let me check if your name is in our database. So you give it to him, Barbara Ann. I'm not going to give more than that. And he says, congratulations on your grant as our verification team alerts that your data verification process was successful. Good news, right? You said, oh my God, thank you so very much. Now what do I do? Well, I'll need to confirm some information before we can deliver your grant to you in your home. Okay. So he says, here's what I need. Full name, address, male, female, age, married, single, text or phone number, email, hearing or deaf. Do you own a house or rent an apartment? Do you want cash or check? You will have to fill this out right here. Oh my God, thank you so much. Then he says, you pay $1,000, you get $50,000. You pay $2,000, you get $90,000. You pay $3,000 and get $100,000. You pay $4,000, get $150,000. You pay $5,000 and get $200,000. You pay $6,000 and get $300,000. 7 get $450,000. 8 get $550,000. 9,200 get $750,000. Finally, $12,000, you get $1 million. You said, how do I know this is real? He said, well, this is for real. I want you to know that you will have your grant money delivered to you. Here is the website, Fed Grants, and I'm not going to put it all up there, .com. What'd you think?
Well, I thought it sounded pretty good, but...
Pretty good? Pretty good? Seriously? You get 2 of these, and you get 180, or you get 1 of these, and you get 150. Now, I'm not good at math, but that looks to me like a difference of 30K.
It is what it is.
And later, he says he's got a 4-bedroom house on a lake up in Michigan. And so I sent somebody up to Michigan.
My mom says I have a mental disorder.
You've been self-medicating with alcohol because your dream got ripped from you. You were accused of planting drugs in this woman's car, did you?
No.
But they did find your DNA on the pills. You say he tried to gouge your eye out.
Gouge your eye? I don't try and hurt you. I just try and stop you from doing anything to me.
She's charging you like a bull, is that what you're saying? And you're having to take her down?
Yeah.
You said a female patient grabbed your scrub pants.
Yes, and pulled me towards her. I pushed myself away.
I walked in the room and saw Jameson committed a sexual act with his patient.
Could this have happened the way he said?
Absolutely not.
But did you actually see the sex act taking place? Lots. Your children have been removed from the home.
I'm in Hollywood right now, so how can I worry about my children?
Families in crisis.
I've been worried about your children.
Why don't you take them then, little witch?
I feel like I care about your kids more than you do.
Off before I hit you on stage.
Can I move my seat, Dr. Phil?
Yeah, actually sit her next to my hypocritical mother.
You guys texted back and forth 12 hours.
That day. Well, the next day, because that was in the evening. And the next day, he contacted me, and I told him that I could not get that kind of money.
Well,
so
I'd go pick up pop bottles if I...
No.
You look at this. First off, I would get me two $2,000 grants for $90 instead of getting me a $4,000 grant for $150, because if you get 2 for $90, that's $180 instead of 4 for $150. So I'd get 2 of those $2,000 grants and get $180 instead of one $4,000 grant for $150. Right?
I guess I never really done the math on any of it.
Well, but you see, you get 2 of these, and you get 180, or you get one of these and you get 150. Now, I'm not good at math, but that looks to me like a difference of 30K right there. And as you go down the progression, I mean, it gets weirder. But just right there, I'd get me 2 of those little ones. I mean, doesn't that, did you not?
I didn't do it.
What do you think about that as you look at it?
Well, when you point it out, it is what it is. I never went into it because I couldn't do it anyway.
But I mean, that's kind of a red flag, isn't it?
Well,
and as you look at it?
Even till just now, I would have never thought about it. But I couldn't do it. So, I mean, you know, why?
But as you look at it now.
Yeah, and I can see that, yes.
Yeah. Pretty soon it turned from money to romance, though, anyway, right?
Yes.
Pretty soon, he's not talking about grants. Pretty soon, he's saying, baby, I'm dressing up for church, my love, and I'm going to pray for you so hard today and pray much about our relationship. Baby, I love you so much. You are all I care much about. I want to hold you tight and kiss you tight, my lovely wife. I want to kiss you and spend the rest of my life with you, baby. I will talk to you later. Well, then he says, love you so much more than anything, my love. You are so special to me. You say, David, I love you too. I'm beginning to wonder if you will ever be home.
Yes.
Did anything about that strike you funny?
No, because he's talked to me like that for a long time.
Baby, I am dressing up for church, my love, and I'm going to pray for you so hard today and pray much about our relationship. Baby, I love you so much. You are all I care much about. I want to hold you tight and kiss you tight, my lovely wife. That's grammatically kind of awkward, isn't it? I want to pray for you so hard today and pray much about our relationship. I love you so much. You're all I care much about.
Well, he told me in the beginning he's a very religious person. He's Catholic. So, I don't know. It wasn't weird to me because that's the way he talks.
You know anybody else from Michigan?
No.
Okay. We're going to meet Barbara's granddaughter, Alicia, who says she didn't think her grandmother was, in her words, quote, so stupid. Her mother and Barbara's daughter, Tracy, say she has threatened to turn Barbara into the authorities for being an accomplice to a financial crime. What in the world could that be all about? We're going to talk to them next.
When my mother told me about the police investigation, I was furious.
I really didn't think that my grandma could do something so stupid. I'm terrified that my grandma's going to go to jail.
My mother needs to understand that David does not exist, that there is no David.
And later, Barbara says the police took most of her receipts, but she was able somehow to hold on to her receipts for November 2015 for a total of $9,340.
It wasn't $9,000, it was $12,000.
Well, Barbara says she cannot wait for her boyfriend, well, her online boyfriend, David Chris Jr., to come home from Nigeria, where he's stuck dealing with, quote, business issues. She says he promised they would retire to his spacious lakeside home in Michigan. But Barbara's daughter, Tracy, and granddaughter, Alicia, say this will never happen because David Chris Jr. does not exist, and she is just being used as a money mule. Take a look.
Whoever this David guy really is nothing but a con artist.
Her life revolves around David. It's everything about David and how he's going to give her a new life. I
family really went through the roof a few months ago. One day, a detective from the police department showed up at my door. The detective told me he was investigating accusations of money being transferred to Nigeria. It scared me to death. I promised the detective I was only helping out my boyfriend. The detective looked at some of my receipts, and he could see I did not keep any of the money. So far, I have not been charged with anything.
When my mother told me about the police investigation, I was furious, mortified that it has come this far.
I really didn't think that my grandma could do something so stupid. I'm terrified that my grandma's going to go to jail.
My mother could be found as an accomplice to David's crimes.
Once I was taking my grandma to the doctor. She had this stack of money, and she told me that she needed to make a stop so she could wire it to David. I am very scared that I was going to be considered an accomplice to this, because at times it was on camera that I was with her, and I wasn't aware of what she was doing until she did it.
I'm angry. This man has completely come in and taken over my mom's life. My mother needs to understand that David does not exist, that there is no David. If somebody gave my mother a plane ticket to go see him in Nigeria, she'd be gone in a heartbeat.
Okay, guys, thank you for being here. You've been listening to everything we talked about so far, right? Yes. And what I'm trying to do is reason through this. At one point, you were, and I say at one point, I guess you're still of that opinion, that your mother is an accomplice to a crime here.
Yes, she is.
And tell me the crime that you're talking about.
She has been taking money out of the account that was not hers, her money, and she has been sending it to David. And to me, that's money laundering, and that's why the police were at her door.
Okay, and what account are you talking about?
Her personal account.
We say money that was not hers.
Yes. He's put money into her personal account. He told her that the government couldn't get him his money, so she had to do it for him.
Mm-hmm. So basically, what's been happening is he's been having money wired to your account?
That's not totally true, okay? Yes, he did send money into my account. And how he got, and I know you're going to ask this, so I'm going to tell you. How he got my bank account was he told me he needed my bank account because he's getting ready to retire, and he wants his retirement money to go into my account.
His $700,000.
I don't know how much it was. He didn't tell me that.
For the benefit of the two of you.
Because he was coming here, or coming to my town to get me, and then we were going to go to Michigan and take care of things there.
Right.
Okay.
But then this other money that we're talking about here, he was sending in money that was passing through your account.
A couple times.
Okay, but he was putting money in there that you then forwarded on to him.
Yes, and I got furious with him.
Okay, and this was money from people you didn't know.
No, I didn't know him.
So this was money he was getting somebody to deposit into your account.
Right.
And then you were taking that money and sending it on to him.
That's right.
And sometimes you were with her?
Yeah,
not at the bank.
Not at the bank. She also did MoneyGrams for him. People would send her money. She would go cash these MoneyGrams, and then she would turn around and wire the money to David.
Okay, and who were these people?
I don't know.
Were they from the U.S.?
Yes.
And so then you would forward it on to him, and the police took umbrage to that because we have laws about sending money to foreign countries because of homeland security and terrorism and the potential of funding ISIS and all sorts of things. And so if we're shipping cash out and passing it through an account, that's what they call laundering. You had a problem with that.
I had a big problem with that.
Were you surprised the police showed up?
I didn't know the police showed up until my mother called me to her home. She said she had something to talk to me about.
And what'd she say?
She sat in front of me and my sister and my brother and told us that the police were at her house and that she's in big trouble.
He's got money running through his fingers, right and left. Is this sending bells off in your head?
I know what you're saying.
Wednesday, a hospital worker convicted of sexual assault claims he was attacked.
You said a patient grabbed your pants.
But a witness says
I walked in the room and saw Jameson committing a sexual act.
that's Wednesday.
There were some wire transfers that Barbara sent to David Chris Jr. just in November. Barbara says the police took most of her receipts, but she was able somehow to hold on to her receipts for November 2015. And like, for example, November 17th, $1,000, 18th, $1,500, 18th, $1,000, 19th, $1,500, the 20th, $1,500, 22nd, $1,500, 22, $1,100, 29th, $240, for a total of $9,340. Now, that wasn't all your money, was it?
No. That was the money. Okay, let me explain to you what happened there. I had closed the other account, and he told me to open another account. I said, okay, but I said, you can't do this. He said, okay. He said, I need to have this open so I can put my retirement in there. I said, okay. So I gave him my account numbers again, and then one day this showed up, and it wasn't $9,000, it was $12,000.
But you shipped $93.40. We have receipts for $93.40 that you shipped
okay,
off.
but that's not all of them then, because there was $12,000.
Yeah, well, this is not. We have receipts for $93.40.
These are the money grams. This $93.40 is the money grams that you sent to him in the month of November.
I know that.
The $12,000 is what he dumped into your account. It's separate issues, is what she's trying to tell you.
No, but this is what I sent him, and I sent him the whole $12,000.
Correct.
Okay. Well, you had some exchange with him about this. This was something that you sent to him on February 10th. You said, they are still investigating me for the money I picked up for you. So David Chris Jr. says, baby, you did not do any money laundering, my love. So you say, well, that's what they're calling it. And he says, baby, I want you to know that nothing is going to happen. And now that I'm coming home, now I just can't wait to have you, and I have been thinking much about you. So you did raise the issue with him. You said, what the hell? They're calling this money laundering.
Yes.
Okay, so then on the 22nd, so David says, now they said you are not going to jail again, my love. You say, no, only if I get in more trouble. I'm worried about the other deal of sending money to you. That is federal. So he says, which ones are you scared of? Is this sending bells off in your head?
I know what you're saying.
Not if he's, I'm not even talking about if he's real or not. Let's assume for a minute, just for argument's sake, don't throw up in your mouth here, but just for argument's sake, let's assume that he's real. Let's assume that he's real. If he cared about you, would he put you in harm's way?
No.
Would he put you in jeopardy of being prosecuted by state and federal authorities by passing money to him? He's telling you he doesn't have $600 to get home, and you're shipping him $9,000, $12,000. He's got money running through his fingers, right and left, but he hasn't got $600 to come home and scoop you up and marry you? I'm not talking about if he's real. I'm talking about if he's a jerk. You don't do that to somebody you care about.
I would not do that, no.
Oh, hell no. All right, coming up, David Chris Jr. is such a source of contention in this family that Barbara's other daughter, Kathy, was accused of slapping Tracy in the face during an argument whether or not they should turn their mother, Barbara, into the police. We'll talk to Kathy next.
I'm terrified that this man could be a terrorist. My mom says he has a Spanish accent.
Why, you, my love? I want to spend the rest of my life with you, Doctor.
What I really want is to get my family back together. I want more than anything to prove to everyone that David is real.
She wants the family back together, but what she needs to understand is this is affecting all of us, not just herself.
My mom needs to understand that she's got to get help, that there's no more excuses. This is the end of the road. This is the final straw.
If my family really wants me in their life, they need to respect me and accept David. I love David, and he's not going anywhere.
Well, Barbara has been online dating, a man that she met a little over a year ago. And her daughter Kathy fears this online boyfriend could even be a terrorist on the other end of all of this. Let's hear what Kathy has to say.
I've never spoken to David, but my mom says he has a Spanish accent. When I heard David's voice on a voice message, I thought there is no way that he can be Spanish.
Why, you, my love? I want to spend the rest of my life with you, Doctor.
That does not sound like a Spanish accent to me.
Well, he's traveled a lot. I don't know.
5 months ago, David said that he put a rug on his floor and told my mom that's how he prayed to his God. My mom did some research and thought that he must be a Muslim. I'm terrified that this man could be a terrorist.
David is not a terrorist. He is a Catholic. If he were, I'm sure I would know.
This situation has really torn our family apart. The night my mom told us about the investigation, we got into an argument. My sister Tracy got angry.
Tracy wanted to turn me over to the police.
I couldn't believe that Tracy wanted to turn my mom into the police because that's our mom.
My sister Kathy got up and started yelling at me.
Tracy got up in my face and I slapped her.
I have not spoken to Kathy since our altercation.
There is so much drama, and I just want it stopped.
Okay. You've been listening to everything we've talked about so far,
yes.
Right? You two differ on what to do and how to do it, but you share the common ground of being concerned about your mother, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm okay with her having a relationship. What I'm not okay with is if he's a criminal, I don't want him to hurt my mom. However, I honestly do not believe that he's who he says he is. And I'm afraid for my mom.
I'm very upset that they're pulling apart the way they are.
But we can agree the family is what's important here.
Yes.
Okay. Secondly, can we agree that there is somebody on the other end of these texts, phone calls? So there is somebody on the other end of this. So
there's a criminal on the other end of this.
I'm not sure that it's always a human being.
Right.
Because I have to say that the voice that we heard...
The phone was breaking up at the time. That's why he slurred the words.
Yeah.
But the phone was breaking up at the end.
Yeah. They also use voice generators some. I don't know that that's what we're listening to here, but let's take a listen.
Why, you, my love? I want to spend the rest of my life with you, Doctor.
Well, I'm not sure there was actually a human being generating that, as opposed to it being typed in and put on a sound generator. But at least somebody was typing it or something. There's somebody on the other end. So there is a person here. And so the question is it who the person says they are? And then is that person of good character, or are they an absolute criminal? I think there are three things we can agree on. The family's important, there is somebody on the other end, and that somebody is involved in a criminal enterprise.
Yes.
So we can agree on those three things. Now, based on those three things, who is this on the other end? Well, we dug even further into this story, and you will not believe what we discovered. I'm going to tell you right after the break. Hey, Dr. Phil here. Did you know that more than 16 million kids in the U.S. are at risk of hunger each day? That's more than 1 in 5 children. Now, these are our neighbors, our kids that play in the neighborhood, co-workers, friends' children. The problem is closer than you would think, but so is the solution. Join me and visit feedingamerica.org/hunger to find your local food bank to help. I'm Dr. Phil, and together, we are Feeding America. Want to know what's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our email newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, life strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else.
Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today.
Well, we are out of time today. We talked a lot about Barbara's online financial advisor turned potential husband. But exactly who is David Chris Jr.? Is the man in the photo really Barbara's love? Or is he an innocent victim whose photo is being used all over the internet without his knowledge and consent? Well, we launched an extensive investigation across the country and really all around the globe. And you won't even begin to imagine the information we dug up and the people we uncovered. We'll be revealing all of that tomorrow. Take a look.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
I probably transferred about $76,000 for David.
Is she an accomplice?
She claims she became an unwitting money mule in a money laundering scheme.
I would send the money to David in Nigeria.
You're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines, plus up to 3 years in jail.
She has never met him in person.
Despite all of that, she plans to live with him for the rest of her life.
But
there is no house at that address. The phone number is not a real phone number.
Is he a fake?
My team did some digging.
We're with the Dr. Phil show.
We found him.
Who is this mystery man?
He's here today. You don't want to miss this.
That's tomorrow.
Log on to drphil.com. Share your thoughts on our message boards. You can also find me on Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you tomorrow.